Hello, my friend. How are you today on this beautiful Monday afternoon? Thank you for joining me for Make It Monday. I am Gail, and we are at Glistening Water. Right now, the leaves are glistening in the breezes. So I hope everyone had a fabulous weekend. I had a good weekend. I was about an hour and a half north of where I live, in a cute little town called Holland Patent, and I was doing a Renaissance fair, and it was very soggy, and my feet were very wet, but it was fun, and everybody had a good time, and it didn't rain the entire time we were out there, just a little bit on Saturday and a little bit on Sunday. But it was cloudy. But it was still fun. We always have fun. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Let's get started. I have my apron to protect me because I am your messy master crafter who can look at stuff and get it on them. And although I can't put on my spring summer clothing just yet. It was chilly this morning. It was 40 degrees. That was cold. My little plants, my seedlings on my porch were chilly. So I had to bring them inside and put a little lamp on them so they could warm up before they go into the big bad ground. So anyway, that's for another day. So today we are going to be honoring those families whose relatives gave it all. And Memorial Day is, although it's a celebratory day, for me it's very solemn. So I wanted to do something to honor the people in my town whose families have suffered the ultimate sacrifice. So we are going to be using this brand new transfer and some stars, and we're going to make some stripes, and then maybe some words, maybe this beautiful eagle. Sometimes it's hard to know what we're going to do until we get it on the surface. So I don't know who this is. I have prepped my surface. I'm still shocked how prepared I'm getting. So anyway, I'm going to turn us down, and this is a 12 by 12 square of wood. I have painted it off-white with some chalk paint. And then I have put on some Dixie Belle glaze, and I didn't get all of it, so I'm going to show you how I did the glaze. So I just took this little Taklon brush, and because I don't want it to overpower anything, I did it very, very lightly, and I just took the tip and just tapped it on the glaze. I mean, there's barely anything on there. And then you just, what I call like dry brushing, because the brush is somewhat dry, and it gives enough. And then you can take a towel or a rag and kind of blend it in. Now, because this is a painted surface, we are going to use our surface wax. And Chalk Couture has these little pads that are relatively inexpensive, but you could use any rag that you want. The wax is kind of coated on here. I've never tried to wash it, so maybe I could. But I'm just going to add some more wax, just get a little bit on there. And we're just going to coat the surface with some wax so that it doesn't pull up any of the glaze or the paint. Even though it's dry, it can still pull up some color, and then it kind of ruins your transfer, and you can get some bleeding of the color, not on you. And no blood, thank you very much. And we are going to date ourselves and do wax on and wax off. I did notice that there's going to be another Karate Kid. I don't know. I wonder if it'll have the same impact it did back then. I only watched the first one, I have to be honest. And then we can kind of go in circular motions. And this way, the wax kind of gets into the grain of the wood, because uneven surfaces are our enemy. We do not like uneven surfaces. Our chalk activity does not come out beautifully. Okay, so coffee, even though it is in the afternoon. So a friend of mine, Deborah Lynch, she did this design. I loved it, and I'm going to kind of do my own version, of course. But at Chalk Couture, we do love sharing our designs and our inspirations. It's a very friendly community of creatives. Now notice I didn't say artists, because Lord only knows I am no artist, but I am creative. And that helps me create designs. But you don't have to be. You could just do a one and done. You could put this down and do it all in black and white and be done with it, if you so desired. So my idea is to put this down like so, sort of centered, and maybe up just a smidge. Because the larger something is, the closer it is to you. So I'm going to use the bottom of the transfer as my lineup line. Now, I'm not going to do this flag. We're going to forget about the flag. The other thing, if you're new to chalk, where you see the color underneath is where our color is going to be transferred to, i.e. the word transfer, not stencil. I don't know if exactly that is how they came around to the word transfer, but I'm going to go with it. So my paste is a little bit thick. And thank you very much for watching. And I will try to get this done. I like to do them definitely under an hour, maybe 30 some odd minutes, because everybody is busy. Okay, so I've mixed up some of this color, and I'm going to start with this color down here. And we just place some of the color down, and then we squeegee it across. If you all have been watching me for a while, you kind of know the drill. If you're new here, please say hi. I'm not good at watching for comments, so if you have any questions, or any comments, I will definitely get back to you. Okay, and get some more. This color is camel. Now, you can use, if you wanted something lighter than this, you could use some white and mix it up on the side and make a lighter color. And what I am going to do is make it a little bit darker up top. And I will open up, this is espresso, which is a dark brown. And I'm not a real purist, so I'm just going to use the same squeegee and get some I kind of want to blend the colors in here, and I'm not really into all the details because that's just not my vibe. So the shoestrings are kind of going to be maybe a little bit lighter. Maybe they have some mud on them. And then there's some dog tags in here, I think, on this design. And okay. Now, if you're going to be spending a lot of time with the transfer down, you want to do what's called paste and lift, because you do not want the paste to dry on the silk screen, in the silk screen of the transfer. And then we just pull off the excess till we can see part of the transfer below. And voila. Look at the craftsmanship. Look at the detailing on this design. It's what these artists do in our craft studio. I just find it absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's talent. Now I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to let it hang, and I will wash it when we are done. Okay, I'm going to close up my colors here because they will dry out if you leave them open. Okay, so my idea, you see the little dog tags there? I want to paint those silver, but I'm going to do it at the end. So now, up in this corner, we're going to use a transfer that has been around, and we're going to use some of the stars. And yeah, I'm going to just put it down here. Now, this is not going to be a complete, perfect rendering of, we're going to use some artistic license here. And I think I'm going to cut that string off because it's in my way. And we'll just put it back on after. Or maybe I'll use different twine. But I just want to pull it out. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, when you have something that's a lot of silk screen, the way you want to handle this so that it doesn't move around and buckle is that you want to start in the center, put a glob in the center, and then you're going to move your way out. And I'm using this color Cadet, and I'm going to put some down in the center, and that's going to sort of glue it to the surface, because you can get a lot of bubbles when there's so much silk screen. And I'm just going to go slowly and get as good a coverage as I can muster. Ha 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 ha. And I'm going to go around the boots. And if you want to use the multi-tool, if you're more comfortable with that for the little areas, that is a great, great usage for it. So tell me what you have planned for the rest of the week. So I was thinking I was going to be doing a lot of prep work last week for the fair, but all these other things kept coming up. And it wasn't an issue. I had everything I needed. Oh, but wait. So how many times have I done craft shows or Renaissance fairs? Many, if anybody knows me. I forgot to pack my tables. I mean, what planet was I on? Okay, we're going to lift this up. And we have a little bit of bleeding right here. You don't see that totally blue star. But you know what? Because we waxed that surface, that blue ink will scrape right off, which is another great reason to wax. And not like wax your legs, which I have never done. Just seemed too difficult to coordinate it. Okay, I digress. Now, we're going to use some washi tape, and I am going to make my line spaces for the red and the white lines. Now, that's assuming that this washi tape cooperates and will unroll. I've had this for so long. I loved the idea of washi tape, but I never knew what to do with it. So I collected all of it and then never used it, which is kind of ridiculous. But crafters are notorious for having craft supplies and never really using some of them. So I really want this to work. And of course, it's not cooperating. Okay, maybe this will. All right, I think we're on a good roll here. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out. Come on. Oh, that's the... Okay. So, the first spot is going to be, the first line is going to be red. So I'm going to block this off up here and tear that. Now, of course, because I waxed it, it's not going to want to stay stuck, right? That's okay. It's a good thing I'm not a perfectionist. But I don't want anybody to think I'm disrespecting the flag by doing a crappy job. Okay, so that's going to be a red line. And we're going to do it this way. We're going to use this to mark where the red's going to go. And then this is going to be where the white is going to go. And then we're going to lift this up and place this down over here. This is kind of the technique that you do if you want to create your own buffalo plaid. Which can be tricky. Okay. And okay, this is white. This is going to be red. We're going to put this down here as a space holder for the red line. And this is going to be the spot for the white line. I couldn't have done this as a prep, unfortunately. So I'm stuck trying to Did you ever have packing tape that you lost the end for and you can't find it, and it's like impossible to get started up, so you just make a big slice and you just keep unwinding it till you can get a full piece? That used to happen at work a lot because we would be packing stuff up. Okay, here we go again. Okay, and so this is red, white, red, white, red, white. Placeholder for the red. And then the white. I promise this will make sense when we're all done laying this out. Okay, so that's red, white, red, white, red, white, red. And okay. And I'm going to wind up with a lot of stripes, so I might not go all the way to the bottom. Okay. And this is for the white. And for these colors, I might use a paintbrush, just because I think that will come out a little bit better and give me a better result. How many stripes are on American flag? Isn't that embarrassing that I don't know? And another space holder. Space holder here. I should pull up how many stripes are on a flag, just for some. And I think I'm going to put some words on the bottom. Okay, that's a space holder. White, red, white, red. Okay, and I think we'll just do one more. And then we have room for words. Because it's got to end on a red. Okay, and so then this is going to be, no, it's got to end on a red. So we're going to end it right here. Okay. Okay, and I'm pushing this down so that I don't get, or try not to get, any bleeding where we don't want it. Okay. And I'm going to show you how we can remove It might be easier if we wait until the chalk is dry, but I just wanted to show you that with the waxing, it'll come off. And like this little blobber right here. Okay. So, let's go. Rah, rah, rah. All right, I'm going to use this paintbrush because I'll have better control. And, oh, it's a brand new one. Now, this is not candy apple red because I don't have any, believe it or not. This is a color called cherry, which is pretty close to the candy apple red. And I'm just going to go across like this. Okay, and we're going to lift that up, and we've got a nice neat line. Now, I'm not going to lift up the next one because I need that border control. Haha, border control. For the top and bottom. And this way you don't have to be as concerned about perfect lines. So, a needle pulling thread, right? No, I wanted to show you all this month's Chalk Couture design, which I think is pretty darn cute. You can definitely use it for a Father's Day gift. or you can use it for a female work area, like your own personal workshop. You can use a more feminine set of colors if you choose. And club is a great way to make sure you get your crafting time in, because it is really, really a wonderful opportunity to take care of yourself. And if you have some friends who like to craft also, get them to do club. And you can get together for a crafting afternoon or evening. And it's just an easy way to have all the supplies that you need to create. And as you collect transfers, every month they send a transfer and a lot of times a surface. You create an inventory of transfers that you can use to mix and match and create different designs. Like these stars were from another transfer. And I'm trying to be oh so gentle. So next live, look at this. I'm not even done with this one, and I'm talking about the next one. We are going to be honoring our gardens. Now, tell me who is a gardener here. I'm going to turn this sideways. I was not a gardener in Florida. Lord only knows you can't grow squat in Florida. Maybe basil. But it's the bugs, the heat, it's just not easy to garden. Okay, I'm going to start pulling some of these up so you can see the method to my madness. Pull this one up. And pull this one up. And that one. Now, as you can see, the lines are not perfect. But if you've been around me a minute or two, you know that I am not about perfect. I am a little bit more careful and interested in it turning out nice than just get it done kind of attitude. But I kind of like it, you know, when it's not perfect. You know, the Amish have a tradition of putting a mistake in every handmade item that they produce, so as to remind themselves and others that God is the only one who is perfect. Now, you don't have to believe in God to understand from where this concept comes and appreciate that it's definitely more important to show our humanity and then take away joy. Because sometimes when we're so concerned with it being perfect, we lose the joy of creating. And that is not what crafting is about in my book. Okay, so we are done with our stripes. There we go. So I can take a little time and kind of zhuzh this up to here. Oh, and I have to do this one little area behind here. Okay. Now I'm going to rinse this off. This paste was a little dry compared to the consistency of what we needed, but because I was using it with a brush, I wasn't as concerned. But I'm just going to put some water in here and then put the lid back on. So, okay. I got to wipe my nose. And, ooh, I hope I didn't get paint on it. Okay, so you see that little blue spot right there? I'm sure you do. So we are going to kind of scrape it off a little bit. Get rid of that. And get rid of that little brown spot. And that little brown spot. And I got some red over there. Okay. And we can also take paint and go over those little spots over there too. Okay, now for the words. So I was going to use, and again, this was a club from 2001. So I wanted to maybe use the words very thankful over here, and maybe grateful over here. You see that? See, that's the word grateful, and that's thankful. Very thankful, and yeah. And I think that that will kind of finish that off. And we did talk about that eagle. Where is that eagle? Oh, yes, here it is. So I could put this eagle right on top of the flag, and that might cover a multitude of sins over here. So we'll have to think about that. Let's work with the words. So let's do blue. Okay. So I'm just going to lay this down and place this kind of just wherever I want the words. And I'm not going to do any of that arch up here. I'm just going to use those words. Maybe I'll put this here. No, I think I want it here. Fill in that space. And let me just see about the grateful. Maybe I'll put the grateful over here because it's bigger. Yes. And this is over here. Okay. Thank you for helping me with that. Okay, so I'm lining this up. And like I said, I'm just going to use that blue. And just going to do these. And I'll do that little dot. Why not? Well, I hope this gives you some ideas. And I'll be back, of course. Next week is going to be a gardening themed. But sometime in June, we'll do some 4th of July decor, fireworks and all. I just wanted to differentiate. Oh, that's smudged. Why did it do that? Well, we'll have to clean that up. Oh, well. We'll wait for it to dry. We'll clean it up. And then sometimes that happens. And I'm going to put the word grateful right up here. I didn't have anybody in my family who served in the armed forces. So I am extremely grateful. Okay. I hope it's not a turnoff that I make mistakes and then I fix them. That came out nice. A little bleedish, but it's okay. And I'm just going to set that down. I wonder why. It's waxed. Who knows? Just shows that I am not a robot. And here is our eagle. And I am going to set him right down here with his talons landing on the boots. Whoops. Like I said, we're just taking some artistic license here. All right, we're going to use some gold, some black, and a little yellow for the beak. And let me clean off. I'm going a little slow today. Usually I'm a little faster. I think Wednesday we're going to do some t-shirts. I bought a red and a blue t-shirt from Walmart. And it had a really cute cap sleeve. So we're going to see what we can come up with for maybe some 4th of July. Actually, there's a really cute t-shirt that is about the Revolutionary War. Talk about deaths, man. Those people were brave. They were like literally walking into death. There's a bump here. All right. Let's see what we got. It's hard to see where the silk screen is on this. And okay, we're going out to here. Okay, let's put some of this color back in. But we're going to leave Mr. Eagle's beak. Mr. Spanky, you need to wait a minute. You want to come and say hello to everybody? Do I dare pick you up and you can say hello? I don't think you would like that very much. Okay, now we're going to take a little paintbrush and paint in his little beak right there. And I think I missed something here. I don't know if that's silk screen right there or not. It might be. Okay. And then let's do dark brown for the talons. Yes, we're going to do dark brown for the talons. You hear me talking about a bird? I don't think you want to mess with an eagle. Okay, and we're going to pull this baby up and we're going to keep our fingers crossed that it looks good. Okay, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty darn cool. We get the concept. It's artistic. Okay, so here we go. And I think got some cleaning up to do, but I will clean it up and then post it. And Mr. Spanky, do you want to come here and say hello? Come on. Nope, he ran away. I figured as much. Well, that's it for me today. Thank you very, very much. I hope that you enjoyed it. Hi, Jen. I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were watching. Washi tape? Yeah, no, it's not new, but I'll show you next time I see you. So anyway, that's it for me today. I look forward to crafting with you, hopefully on Thursday. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.